Welcome to Chef's Table at Blue Duck Station. Adventure fine dining sitting on top of the world. This is S3, New Zealand.
Hello, I'm Jack Cashmore. We are at the Chef's Table at Blue Duck Station in New Zealand. We like to show you around a little bit, explore the beautiful native rainforest that we have here on the station through what we call an ATV bush safari. Native, but it's called virgin bush.
Our adventure begins traversing the Wanagui River, down to the Kaiwakuka waterfall, to search for the endangered blue duck. Only hundreds of pairs are left in the world. We kayak the gorge, towering walls of rock covered in damp, vibrant moss. Sunlight filters through the dense canopy above. You feel completely removed from the rest of the world. 2 hours pass in what seems like minutes. The restaurant and luxury cabins reveal themselves perched on top of the highest peak. It's time to get ready for dinner.
This is the most magical place in the entire world. Take me a second.
We've just celebrated our 3rd birthday, so we opened in January 21. I built it with a friend. You know, it was better to have a go and it all go wrong than to put it in the too hard basket and regret it for the rest of your life. To be able to come up here and chip away and grow and build and progress the place is a dream scenario.
Sparkling pear cider. So this is Foraged by Eric Bordelais. Very light, very crisp. Sauvignon from Terrain called the Sun King. 2019, so it's lovely, kind of vanilla, really textural.
A little press of a few ingredients from our cafe gardens. Nasturtium, apple and some fermented radish. There's a little bit of seaweed in there also to give it an umami bite. On top, an apple jar and a lemon verbena vinegar.
The minute Chef Jack put the dish down, you could smell this incredibly acidic, just beautiful scent coming off of the dish.
Obviously aesthetically stunning. Not very often you taste a sweet apple with seaweed. Really nice way to start, very classic.
One of the gardens that we have on the station. Every day we'll come down and collect what we need for the evening. It's about as wild as the rest of the country here.
This is a chawanmushi infused with horseradish, with salmon roe and finish with a dashi and parsley oil.
Salmon roe here for some reason has an incredibly crunchy pop, way different than anything we've had before. It's really, really nice.
So the custard is made of horseradish, but very mild and refined, so you get the most subtle amount of spice. Overall, as a dish, it's elegant.
New Zealand Marlborough Chardonnay. So this is 2022, so still pretty young. Super small production, minimal intervention, really well balanced, kind of light and fresh.
A whole pumpkin. Down at the cafe we've got a horde of pumpkins growing at the moment.
Every day we've got at least 10 or 12 ideal little golf ball sized ones for that first intro. If that's in the fridge for 24 hours, which it doesn't need to be, it's going to diminish in its vibrancy and its essence.
We've just hollowed out the centre, got a little bit of buttermilk in there, which is a byproduct from when we make our butter, and then some ossetra caviar on top.
Whole raw baby pumpkin, never had that before. Flavor profile kind of like right in between a carrot and a cucumber. Really super hard, crispy crunch. Very clean, so flavor-wise, just very, very mild.
And then the inside had buttermilk and some caviar, so it complemented nicely with the clean pumpkin. It added a bit of acidity and a bit of saltiness. Very nice dish.
The bread course was sticky, sweet, and savory. Hazelnut croissants based in chicken stock and glistening with local manuka honey.
Ripon Gabachirina. So this is 2022. It's a very aromatic grape, so you've got your lychee, your rose, your ginger. This has all of that, but it's got a lovely kind of mineral finish.
Some cherry tomatoes that we just had dehydrating over the afternoon. In the bottom is a seaweed jam and some fresh cheese, and then some aromat, fennel, lemon verbena, and lavender. Smoked tomato broth.
Hands down, favorite dish of 2024, without question.
Every spoonful, you got a different flavor combination. With one, you got a bite of lavender, another one, fennel fronds.
Tomatoes are an incredibly deep, rich, smoky flavor. The sauce is just that perfect sweet vinegar combination.
I think a dish that's probably most rooted in the station and where we are, the dish of the Mamaku punga. And it's so synonymous with New Zealand, and in particular where we are, because it's growing everywhere. It's like no other ingredient really. So yeah, this is the Mamaku. This is quite a small one. But if we just get all those off, which you always do before taking them into the kitchen, because you do not want all those in the kitchen. I heard these ones were edible from just a guy who had lived out in the bush for 3 years and just started playing around basically and experimenting. You know, most Kiwis will have never tried it before, so it's just a fantastic ingredient that has the most relevance here, I'd say.
Very cool. So unique, just very mildly poached, almost tasteless, and I mean that in a very good way.
Whey cheese sauce on the outside has this very sticky, reduced, deep, rich, almost nutty and burnt flavor to it. It's very interesting and I love this dish.
Field blend by Entente, a blend of Pinot Gris, Riesling, Gewürztraminer, Chardonnay and Viognier. These lovely kind of honey notes.
With some slow-cooked onions with roasted bone marrow. And then we're just finishing it here with the cooking liquor off the onions.
You smell burnt, crispy onions and bone marrow in the best possible way.
I think my favorite dish of tonight, rich and decadent, caramelized, beautifully roasted onions. There's crunchy elements running through it and a rich, decadent jus. That dish is incredible.
Grand Reserve Pinot Noir, Marlborough from Calrossi Vineyard. A lot of the Pinot here is very, very light, juicy and fresh, but this is kind of a little bit more complexity, richness. It's got a forest floor.
Some lamb loin and garden greens. So you got some cabbage, little cucumbers, aubergine, kohlrabi, just a garden selection.
Every time a dish comes to the table, the aroma has you salivate and just excites you so much. Definitely a specialty of Chef Jack's. This lamb in particular tasted very hearty and brightened up by those fresh foraged flowers. It was a beautiful combination.
Pinotage by Bislar, 2021. Cherry, plum to it.
So we have the venison course for you next. Red deer off the station, the loin, the beetroot and the cherry. Finish with a little bit of 90% dark chocolate.
One of the nicer pieces of venison I think we've ever had. Perfect char on the top, surprisingly tender. Great. The beet particularly for me stood out. Just really, really, really rich, deep, hearty, mineral.
And then there was chocolate that added not really a sweet element, but more of a decadent, rich, deep note.
A wonderful way to end a meal.
Dry white port. This is from Newport, Porto. A little bit of candied fruit, even though it says it's dry.
Wonderful combination of textures and flavors, and in fact temperature as well. The local cheese on top tastes like a blue cheese, but it's cold and crumbly. And underneath is a nice crispy thin wafer, and then underneath that is like warm apple, cinnamon, smoky, and a bit of walnut. Really, really nice. Pine granita, strawberries, meringue. Very well balanced. The granita, just a little hint of pine, just slightly bitter.
And the meringue, incredibly pillowy and smooth. A really lovely combination of flavors.
So back to Prophet's Rock. This is a Vin de Pays, so a sweet wine.
The final dessert, milk and honey. Rice pudding bottom, caramelized white chocolate, local Manuka honey, olive oil jelly, and finished in a milk sauce.
It reminds me of something from my childhood, like taffy.
Water taffy.
Siki taffy. And actually, interestingly, not something I've tasted in a long time, flavor profile wise. Really fun.
That sauce that Chef Jack poured around almost tasted like a whipped condensed milk. Very fluffy and aerated, but thick and milky at the same time.
And we finished with petit fours, a hot chocolate tart, lemon meringue, and a raspberry and kaffir lime jelly. We're off to bed after a magical day. We'll see you in the morning. Day 2 greets you with a beautiful sunrise over the largest active volcano in New Zealand. After a quick hike, Chef Jack greets us back at the restaurant for a hearty breakfast of bacon and eggs, homemade jams, bread, and granola.
Based on our ranking system, Chef's Table at Blue Duck gets an S2. Find out more on our website, s3lifestyle.com. As always, thanks so much for watching. See you next time.